Ki khubor ka Batesi TV ka umdi basnyam bak penjaslian. Rupa Premium Meghalaya.
Usambor lang ding do, way ni kinong trekam lajong ulami syakmat ban bu jengkili ya ka Sorkar. Hadim melayo jingtip ka Sorkar jela kasebut no da kuwe company ke ban lumi ka Khajna bayo nakakyat na kinong dikyat kibedan haga jela baro kuwe. Haga jing keram kilar patai ku bor ba sambor lang ding do hakal pu atrik unai lur arajar arpusan uliat ho ba kadinga jingyo lum jingtip jong u kalong hadien ba kin hol menteri jong ka Sorkar jela. Haga khat atrik unai lur arajar arpusan kala menjur yak Excise Amendment Rule arajar arpusan.
Jingwan junga mentakasi ban address kini press briefing kadi lor junga tu ka Excise Amendment Rule arajar arpusan hakba ka cabinet kadang dek syong kadang dek approve khat artik September arajar arpusan. Pat kumbangi semua ber ba lingba kini ka Excise Amendment Rule 2025 kan sedon pat kawai ke entity kani kata ka implementing agency ni company ka banwanrung kani ka MFL trade but kumangi sutu hendak ka bahak ka bangi penbiang ka Khajna syaka Sorkar jela kandrung syaka ka firm syaka ka company tila kata ka bahak bakadi bandrung ki adjust na kata ka tax bang siu mengi syaka government ni kimut ban minus na ka retail ni ki retailers ki bafsyong dukan kata ngi haban wa ka jing tip ti kumangi tip imentai ka state jungi ka Khajna kaba penpelang ya apply rong sa apply rong jong Sorkar jelahi de Khajna bengisiu na ka diesel na ka petrol na ka IMFL ni ka markini ki ha dot ka Meghalaya value tax ki ha apa state subject kin patna hiru ka GST de ka high speed diesel ngisiu 100% ka tax ka MS ni ka motor spirit is ka petrol ngisiu khalai 0.1% ka tax but ka Khajna ka bahedo kadi na kani ka IMFL ni ka nakakya isi hado like 4%. Te kini ki Khajna ki bengilum ni kini barak hi kadai bi tek bangin pen he ya kapalaya rong jong Sorkar jela khnang ba nagatu kiyo ban siu ya tulot jong nong tri Sorkar kiyo ban siu ya tulot jong ki nong ikai Sorkar bat school bat college bat bakai ke bangi pen pelang nang tu kumdai ban sya pen divert ane sya perung no shwai ki te kumbangi sutu i ya kani ka third entity le nei kata ka agency ka badangwan ma kumbangi sutu ka lumdei hiru ka banajla jungi kadi ka wan naba te ya kani ka agency ka government ka hapan pembiang kat bakila ikut kata ka certain percentage te ya kata ka percentage bagi ya penyabiang ru ni sayo dengan ada bio ya tu ka RTI funding but kai ka bagi kwa ban persno ni ba Khajna ka ba kipat ba jong Sorkar jelahi jungi ki penmi lingba na kani ka diesel lingba ka petrol na kani ka kiat kamdai bandrung rumar suwe ke di bandrung mitek apply rong jong Sorkar jela bi di benang ban penangkam te bat kumba kajidan kajing ong ma ba ibadan na kabor si oyim dei ban sania tan tang kam Sorkar ke di benang ban yang jat de jong te mentala dangin hadin mi ada penkre ngi ada dia pendut ngi ya invest ki business ki penmi pada kini ki policy selong kumba ki pendut jengkeman pada am ini marlada ki hab ban minus no na ka e ka margin jong ki retailers ni nang syong dukan te ka sakta pada namar kembang itip mentahi kadang mi kiski kanang kiwet ndu ka marbam hadu nadong sedang kan mo kata ka inflation biki unda ka pareng te menta kembalong mentahi kini ki retailers kaning ni ki try dukan ki battery kini ka kam kiyo kata ka profit ka ba 4%. Te 4% kata ka profit kamut ba tablet baro 4% seplah try dukan. Na katu ka 4% wahaban siu ya ka bayway dukan. Wahaban siu ya ka tulop jeng kinong tray, wahaban siu ya ka baylight, wahaban siu ya ki buon ki jingdut jingsat sekiway ba teng-teng ka business ka judan ba itinghu ya ki jingdut no. Te katu ka 4% ka sulong bitek ini tambangin penbiang kata. Tilada ki penduna pa no minus no ikata pada akta ki battery ni ka barangat iya ka state subject barangat iya ka Meghalaya value added tax ka tangka petrol diesel ka te jaring ka ngadan berarti kini business tinggal share fee mene ngasa share fee gitu ka soft copy jom kumno mengisi ka tax 1% ka tax mengisi na ka diesel kalai 0.1% ka tax mengisi na petrol kalai 4% ka tax mengisi na ka behedo ka tax Khajna tikat kum garul jung kani nga haban up ya report like posngi tiban up de kata report adu like posngi yo kini gila nang ya smart kila le ya tu ka cost card kila le ya costing ba pricing minum la su ban keren dit tanah tahi This press briefing is regarding the latest amendment, Excise Amendment Rules 2025, which was approved by the Cabinet meeting held on the 12th September 2025. Because as per this latest Excise Amendment Rule 2025, it is speculated that a third entity will enter into the MFL trade, which will gain a certain percentage from the revenue generated through the 30% MVAT tax paid to the IMFL, or the Indian Made Foreign Liquor or liquor. See, as we all know, Meghalaya's revenue heavily depends on taxes generated through the Meghalaya Value Added Tax from three commodities, mainly HSD or high speed diesel, for which we pay 5% tax, MS motor spirit or petrol, for which we pay 13.5% tax, and the heavy contribution comes from the Indian Made Foreign Liquor, that is the IMFL, 30% tax. So revenue which are collected from these three commodities, they contribute heavily to the state exchequer for meeting the requirements, mainly for salaries to government employees and government school and college teachers. And through this RTI application file, the general public who contributes massively to the state exchequer has every right to know where this revenue goes, and it should not get diverted or siphoned off elsewhere. And for this third entity to gain the certain percentage for the revenue generated, it is understood that they may slash that same percentage from the profit margins of the retailers. At present, retailers are getting 20% profit margin from the MFL trade, and this 20% profit margin is just adequate for a retailer to meet his or her expenses, such as shop rent, staff salaries, electricity bills, other miscellaneous expenses, and mostly some unforeseen losses that we counter in the business. So if there's any slashing of profit margin to retailers, it will become very difficult for one to sustain in this business, because as we all know, the cost of living is always increasing day by day because due to inflation and various other problems. So if in order to meet the requirements of this third party who has come into the picture, if they are to slash the profit margin of a retailer, then it will be very difficult for him or her to run his business. And there's always a saying that never rely on government jobs, and you learn to stand on your own feet. But after we've invested in our business and our business is running smoothly, see, government will come up with policies to backstab and demoralize us. This has to be addressed first. No? That is the main motive of this press conference. And the RTI that I filed, it was filed on the 17th of September 2025. It was addressed to the Public Information Officer, Commissioner of Excise for Meghalaya, Lower Lashmia, Shillong, Meghalaya. Subject is seeking of information as per the RTI Act 2005. And as per this RTI, with due respect and view the above mentioned subject, I would like to seek the following information as per the RTI Act 2005 regarding the Excise Amendment Rules 2025, which was approved by the Cabinet meeting held on the 12th September 2025. First point, kindly elaborate the following amendments. There are 6 amendments. First one was the amendment of Rule 4412. Second is the amendment of Rule 372 1B. Third is the insertion of new Rule 71A. Fourth is the amendment of Rule 373. Fifth is the amendment of Rule 374. And lastly, the introduction of Rule 41A of Meghalaya Excise Amendment Rule. This will be elaborated when I'll get the RTI reply. And point number 2, whether there's any impact on the pricing of various classification of ML brands. If there's an increase or decrease in price, kindly specify. And point number 3, which comes to the main subject, will the barcode system of IMFL be employed? If yes, what is the assurance given that this system will be accurate and effective? And point number 4, as we all know, this third entity, if I'm not mistaken, it's not from our state, it comes from outside the state. So kindly provide the details of this implementing agency or company, and kindly furnish their names of the dignitaries of the said implementing agency, their names and their domicile address. And point number 5, whether or not an open tender was called for this implementation of this barcode system. If yes, kindly furnish the details of the leading newspaper where the tender was advertised, name of the newspaper and date. And point number 6, whether all stakeholders, including bonded warehouse owners and retailers, were taken into consideration or not for implementation of this barcode system. And if so, kindly furnish the proceedings of the meeting. Point number 7, whether or not it will affect the margin of retailers. If yes, kindly elaborate. And point number 8, how much does this implementing agency or company charge for undertaking this barcode system? Kindly furnish the details accordingly. that the information sought above are well within the purview of the Right to Information Act 2005. And thanking you in anticipation, sincerely yours, myself, Sambor Langdingdo.